good. Well, hello, welcome to the stream. So today we are going to be playing as the Kingdom of France. We're going to be going down the French claimant path, which I think is King Jamie. It says here in the path guide. I can check that in a second. But our goal, basically, is we're going to win the Civil War. We're going to have to join the Reichspakt, and we're going to take over France. I think that seems like a great time for everybody. So the Kingdom of Spain. The Kingdom of Spain, once the greatest of colonial empires, saw all of her remaining overseas colonies lost after a civil war against the United States in 1898. After this, separatist movements in both the Basque Country and Catalonia arose, and both the Church and Radical Workers movement, the CNT, are interfering with their internal politics. Spain's populace has become deeply divided. After taking his place on the throne in 1902, King Alfonso XIII seemed keen on regaining Spain's former status as a colonial power, by intervening in Morocco. The intervention lasted for a whole decade, and the outcome, while a victory, was not exactly in favor of Spain. The Moroccan possessions remained a source of permanent unrest. Spain turned in on herself afterwards, remaining neutral during the Weltkrieg, all while the population's faith in the King Alfonso faded. As a result of the general election of 1931, the Second Spanish Republic was proclaimed, and Alfonso, accepting the will of the people, went into exile. However, the Republic only lasted a short while. The kingdom was destroyed by a coup d'etat led by General San Giro just a year later. Still, the memories of the short-lived failure that was the Spanish Republic fueled the regime's opponents left and right. To date, there remains deep divisions within Spanish society. On one hand, the insurgent Carlist movement, headed by Alfonso Carlos, aims to re-establish a true dynasty and create an integralist Christian monarchy. On the other hand, the anarcho-syndicalist CNT-FAI seeks to abolish the Spanish state altogether and replace with a voluntary federation of communes and a kind of collectives. If the political shift not mended, Spain might see civil war. So, we have our path guides here. By the way, I just want to say again, I'm glad that Kaiserreich added in this path guides, so I don't have to go on Reddit, like Googling, like how do I get to a certain path? Like click, 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 and then maybe nobody's ever done it, no one's ever posted an actual guide on how to do it. I'm glad it's here. But what we need is King Jamie. As far as I'm aware, it doesn't matter what path we do. If you go paternal autocrat or authoritarian democratic. So you know what, chat? We're going to start a little poll for you. What are we going to be doing? Are we going to go for paternal autocrat? Or are we going to go for authoritarian democrat? Democrat? Democracy? Authoritarian democratic? Apparently, okay. Just ask. There we go. Just throw the poll up there. I saw authoritarian wrong. Don't worry about that too much, okay? So, we are going to bring all of our forces. I don't know if our units get deleted during the Civil War. That's typically how Kaiserreich kind of works. Destabilize. Also, yeah, Spain does have a new focus tree, which is why we're playing it today. But yeah, we want to strengthen the kingdom because we will be remaining as the Kingdom of Spain. You've got 19 divisions. Just for right now, I'm going to have you hang out near Madrid. Throw you in charge here. Let's get our Field Marshal as well. We have 30 factories currently, so we have 8, 3, and 19. Honestly, not bad. Yeah, we are going to be joining up with the Reichspakt. So, actually, don't build them in Madrid. Let's build them in Seville, because that's actually kind of the furthest from the front lines. And we do want the military factories for when the war actually breaks out. We're going to take all of our basic technologies here. Also, I realize I don't have my... Where's my phone? There it is. I need my phone for my timer. Well, we are at a slight lead right now for paternal autocrats. So the way we get King Jamie is that we basically need King Juan to be assassinated. Much like Kerensky here. So it's available. We'll take our Army Navy experience. I'm not going to worry about the rest of you right now. What are we actually missing? A lot of everything. Okay, cool. Let's go 3, 1, and 1. We are missing aircraft as well. We could try to... How about like one less support equipment? We'll try to make some planes, but nothing like too crazy. Okay, let me just pull up my timer here. Alfonso de Bourbon dies. Alfonso Carlos, Duke of Saint-Germain, and the Carlist claiming to the throne of Spain died today in Vienna at the age of 86. As the Duke had no children, the question of who succeed him as the Carlist claimant has arisen. Following the Duke's death, King Alfonso XIII had become the most senior male descendant of Carlos IV, and so in theory, should now also be the head of the Carlist branch of the Bourbon dynasty. Very few things in life are ever that simple, however, and only a fraction of Carlist supporters have accepted Alfonso's position as a legitimate king, with the rest disqualifying him for a wide range of reasons, including the alleged treason of his ancestors, and even simply on the grounds viewing him as unfit to rule based on his weak leadership and previous deposition. The majority of supporters of the Carlist cause have decided instead to support the claim of Duke Javier de Bourbon-Parma, declaring him King Javier I of Spain. While it is hoped that in time the Carlists may be able to slowly be convinced to begin... While in time, the Carlists may be able to slowly be convinced to begin to instead support the legitimate claim of Alfonso, it seems unlikely Carlos' opposition to the king will end anytime soon. And we'll probably get a pop-up saying that the CNT is being a piece of shit. Probably France intervening in the country as well. Very cool. Okay. You just do when nobody's there to industrialize Andalusia. I don't know too much about the Spanish economy. Or like what's considered like the good and poor regions of Spain. Javier's ambitions to the throne. Despite adherence to the Carlist cause supporting Javier's claim to the throne, it was hoped that those in the current government that the Duke would simply uphold the passive claim instead of actively seeking the crown for himself. This hope has been shattered today when Javier, having recently arrived in Spain from Naples, gave a speech to a crowd of Carlist supporters openly calling for his restoration to the Spanish throne and the deposition of the false King Alfonso. This clear act of treason has left many within the government fearful of the lengths his supporters will go to enforce his demands. Some going as far as predicting that only the remaining outcome will be a civil war breaking out in the nation. It is clear that this monarchist upstart must be quickly nipped in the bud if Spain is to survive as a nation. A decision must be taken now on how to handle the Duke. We can arrest him. We can ban the organization. Well, what are you, 20? I mean, we're only at 8% stability. You know what? Ban his organization. You're no longer allowed to be a Carlist in Spain. It's about time that somebody did something about this. Focus on the economy or focus on the military. I'm going to focus on the military because, again, we are going to be in a... war. Very, very, very soon. I don't remember... When does the Spanish Civil War actually begin? Is it like February of 37? I don't quite remember. Also, Russia's now gone socialist. So, does that strengthen the Internationale? I mean, I think maybe a little bit, but like nothing too crazy. I think we should still be basically fine. The defeat of France and Britain during the Ville Creek and their subsequent social revolutions had led to the Spanish economy being separately tied to German and European trade and bloc. As a result, the effects of the complete collapse of Berlin's stock market has torn the Spanish economy apart. Hundreds of businesses have already shuttered their doors, and thousands of citizens seem set to lose their jobs with every additional day that passes. This news already galvanized radicals across the political spectrum, from the anarchists in Catalonia, who wish for the complete destruction of the Spanish state, to the Carlists and Burgos, whose aim to co-opt the nation's institutions in service of an extremist cause. It seems that the true troubles that plague Spain and their people are only just beginning. Give me another negative 10% stability. You know, I don't need any stability. I'm actually stronger than the concept of being a stable nation. I don't need that. That kind of pressure on being stable. It's so much easier to just, you know, waffle about for a little bit. The CNT FAI. Spain's largest narco-syndicate confederation of trade unions, the CNT FAI, one of the greatest threats to His Majesty's government. Yesterday, Joaquin Maria Julia, leader of the movement, had made a speech entitled My Heroes, in which he stated the CNT will attempt to organize all laid-off workers in an effort to save the conscious economy and return jobs back to the people of Spain. With thousands of unemployed workers across the nation, it's no surprise that speeches like this resulted in droves of new trade union members committed to CNT's cause. Further government inaction has also led to the... government action will certainly lead to the group becoming more and more emboldened. Sort of syndicalists supposed must be dealt with as urgently as possible. The other solution would be to outlaw the organization to prevent the further expansion of syndicalist support, but the much harsher crackdown may be more effective in riddling us of the expense of inflaming further tensions. Alternatively, we could tactically support their latest initiative. After all, we benefit from Spanish workers returning to their jobs. By doing so, we may be able to ultimately co-opt much of the support they've gained through it. So we could theoretically give them support. We can outlaw them, ban them, arrest their leaders. We can send in the army towards them. What do we want to do? Because I'm assuming these might be empowering the other factions, which kind of worries me a little bit. I'm kind of thinking we, like, tactically support them. Maybe we undermine them a little bit. You know what? Send in the army. Give me another negative 20% stability. Fuck it, man. Let's go for it. IRL, the Carlist party became a Democratic Socialist Party. Is that true? What is it? The PSOE? They know Spain, like, I think just had their elections, right? I think was it the Conservatives that won? I actually didn't see the final results. Okay. Yeah, -1 resources, but honestly, I don't think the Spanish economy can afford to import anything. Okay, so a lot of shit is going down in Spain. Breakdown of our society. The breaking of both leftists and traditional fanatics have driven the Spanish people into a frenzy. It's a sane economic crisis following Black Monday has poured gasoline onto the embers. Allowing the great cities of Spain, riots have begun breaking out, not only between police loyal to the government and these radical extremists, but also between the extremists themselves. Reports of fighting occurring between Carlist supporters and CNT members in Zaragoza. It's hard to imagine how the situation can get any worse. Give me another -20. Told you to support? Well, it's too late for that one now. Hey, +5 though. When members of the armed forces arrived in the regional headquarters of CNT in Madrid, all that was found was an abandoned building with signs that the occupants had left in a hurry. Units sent to other parts of Spain cities have had some success, albeit still limited. With some lower-ranking members of trade unions having been found and forcibly detained, while the leadership of these unions and most memberships have managed to escape the wrath of the army, the sheer scope of the operation will likely deter the less dedicated members from organizing further, hopefully buying us valuable time to prepare for further confrontations when they do re-emerge from hiding. And syndicalist protests in Barcelona. If one stepped out on the streets of Barcelona yesterday, they would be forgiven of thinking that a revolution had already taken place, with the amount of angry socialists marching throughout the city. At the center of the protest, on the podium in the middle of the city, trade union leaders laid out the three major demands: a solution to the economic crisis, fair working conditions, and a restoration of the Free Spanish Republic. The leaders also made their intentions clear to maintain these protests until the demands have been met, and that they will not give in to any attempts to frustrate these goals. No, we're fine, man. We're good. We're golden. As long as you don't worry about the impending revolutions and civil war, everything is looking pretty good. Okay, focus on the military. Give me probably some more military factories first. Fortify Madrid. Nah. Give me 2 military factories. We can build some more aircraft. And planes are cool. I think planes are neat. Okay, let's go with radio next. Okay, Nanjing Clique has been capitulated. Really, what happens really anywhere other than Western Europe is not our concern. Other than, I guess, what happens in the United States. I guess we want... Who do we want to win the election? I mean, if we can get... Probably... Floyd Olsen to win the elections, negotiate with Reed, and then destroy Huey Long. I think that's usually the best outcome for the Civil War. That leads for it to end a little bit faster. But if we're going to go into war with the French... There's a chance that we might have to go to war with the Entente. So maybe we want the United States to collapse. I guess maybe we want, actually, for someone to assassinate Reed, bolstering Huey Long so that he wins the Civil War. I think, yeah, Huey Long actually winning is in our best interest. Just because I think they're the only one that's allowed to actually join the Reichspakt. A foul murder in Madrid. Late last night, after a long day of debate on the status of the country's internal security, our current Administrator-Chief of Security, Miguel Ponte Mazzo de Zunguida, was gunned down on his way home from work. The 2 lone witnesses to the event have reported to the police that he was walking down the street, and a group of armed men rushed out of a dark alley which were retreating back into it once the brutal deed had been carried out. To further complicate the police investigation, both the Carlist and multiple social elements have claimed credit for the assassination, and a lack of further evidence seems to make the case impossible to definitively solve. Okay. So what do I need to do? Concentrate Industry 1, fantastic. What are we still missing? Yeah, I'm not going to build naval bombers for my... Wait, do I have a... Do I have an aircraft carrier? We'll combine our navy into one fleet. We don't need this many boats around. I don't think so. Then why do we need carrier naval bombers? I'm not too sure. Carlist bombing campaign. The Carlists have made it very clear that if Alfonso does not peacefully hand over the stone to Javier, violence will only be the option left to them. The rabble rousers have already set out to prove that this was not an empty threat. Late last night, the home of one of the junior officers of the armed forces was bombed, with the man and family perishing as a result of the attack. While the Carlists claim credit for this brutal murder, a statement was issued stating that the additional deaths of the officer's family was an unfortunate tragedy. Finishing a statement saying that further tragedies like this would be avoided, Alfonso simply relinquishes the throne. Okay. Well, we've got our extra military factories. I guess we want to go for German support. On the start of the Civil War, we will receive a light tank division from Germany. Or we receive 2 veteran army units. Well, I'm gonna go with the German tanks. So I'm pretty sure that the Army of Africa, that's headed up by Franco, right? And I don't want him in power. Because we need to get Jamie in power. Okay, so when do you guys all open up? Is it after the Civil War? Okay, this is after it's ended. You're when it begins. Okay, cool. So my guess is, like, once we're done all of these focuses, that's when the war is going to kind of break out. Yeah, so I mean, 1 tank division ain't bad. You can get a Bourbon on Spanish throne. Okay, Carlist protest. Supporters of the Carlist movement have taken the streets once again to announce the failures of the current regime's response to the economic crisis that the nation has endured as a result of Black Monday. In an attempt to win the support of the people of Valdiot, a group of Carlist militiamen wearing the distinctive red berets have begun handing out food in the local populace. The claim to the people that the only under King Javier can prosperity be brought back to the people of Spain. Okay, so I think with that, this is going to be a good time for us to end off our first episode here. So if you enjoyed, my thumbs up. Not enjoying, click thumbs down. You want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.